This is Ned from Perth Immigration Detention. It's so encouraging to see you all here once again after a long time, which means the Nazi Australian government and fascist Karen Andrews have failed to dismiss this resistance. They thought by releasing offshore refugees to not be in the eyes of the public in the middle of a city, people would forget everything, as they know for a fact that the public has short memories when they are not hurt and affected themselves by the cause. They are hoping they could gather a few more votes for elections with this little trick. The cruelty they have done to refugees, including the refugees in offshore processing centres, is beyond any words to be described. The lives that have been lost in the last 9 years, the damages that will be with the refugees, their families and their loved ones for a long time, if not the rest of their life. The Liberal National Party, especially Scott Morrison, Peter Dutton and Karen Andrews, must be accountable in international court as criminals against humanity, as Australian justice systems has no power over corrupted politicians that make rules to suit themselves and their rich friends that donate to their election campaigns. Let's not forget that there are dozens of refugees locked up in offshore Australian detention centres for more than a decade. Some were brought back to Australia from offshore before the medevac cohort for medical and mental treatment, which means they can be strong and sustainable impact. I know that some are almost getting insane. They are in much worse shape as they have not even 1 day of freedom on the road, not 1 day of freedom in the PNG street. They couldn't have a beer, they couldn't swim in the ocean. These refugees have no third country offer such as New Zealand or the US is, and they never have closer visas to another country. Myself, I fought in federal court to be removed to offshore. Yes, you heard it right. Offshore as in the room for life, instead of life in a cage in Australia. But Karen Andrews overruled the court order saying she thinks it is in the Australian public interest that I rot in the immigration detention instead of leaving the stolen land that is run by white Australian Nazi regime. Maybe the Park prison is closed for now, but my consent is to keep the gathering ongoing at the immigration office each day in the city of the lives of other refugees in detention centres that matter here. Unfortunately, in some cities like Perth, there is not much hope to have ongoing protest events for months. Not even a day in Perth detention, but the potentials with refugee solidarity in the Andrew groups and Brisbane and Fight Together for Justice in Melbourne have proven themselves. Law was introduced to make and protect humanity, not a tool in the hands of psychopaths to torture each other. Indefinite detention is a true example of torturing and crimes against any live creature. As Thomas Jefferson said, when injustice becomes law, resistance becomes duty. The ones in the community that see this cruelty and fascism as fact and keeping quiet are no different from the ones enforcing it. I appreciate your time and your patience to hear these words. Your friend, Ned. Easy, did you want to say about